My mother-in-law accused us of abusing our baby due to tummy time and called the police, so I told her to not get near my house again or I would press charges. Mother-in-law has always commented about the baby, but my partner has shut her down. She didn't like that his pediatrician was young, she didn't trust doctors, and she didn't trust the skin treatment method the pediatrician chose for a rash. She doesn't like that we don't give him water, but my partner just shuts her down immediately. Then one time, my mother-in-law claimed my partner and I were abusing our baby, 6 months old, since he complains while on his tummy. Our doctor said he needs more tummy time for his flat spot to strengthen his muscles, as well as to help him roll over. He doesn't like tummy time, but it's not like he even gets to the point of crying. He just makes uncomfortable noises. We tried explaining this to mother-in-law, but she keeps claiming we are forcing the baby and abusing him. Mother-in-law has been living with us for the last few months, and things have gone great until this happened. 2 days ago, she snatched the baby from me during tummy time and said I was committing violence against him. I regretted letting her take him but let her. Then, yesterday, she tried the same thing, and I refused to give her my baby. The thing is, I wasn't even doing tummy time. My baby complains when he isn't doing something, he constantly gets bored. Mother-in-law heard him complaining from another room and came barging in, saying I was abusing him again. I walked away from her and locked the door behind me. She pounded on the door, saying she would call the cops, and she did. I called my partner, who left work immediately and drove home. 2 policemen talked to her and then to us. I invited them in and said they could walk around. They looked around and saw an immaculately clean place and a very happy baby. Mother-in-law had not been cleaning up the past couple of days or helping with anything as she did in the past, making me think this was premeditated to try and make us look bad, but I had been cleaning behind her. Mother-in-law tried telling the cops that we were dirty because the dirty bottles and snot sucker were in the same place, that we pet the dog then hold the baby, and that we do tummy time where the cat lays on the couch. When she told them that tummy time hurts the baby, they said, "I'm not a professional doctor." The police couldn't contain their laughter, saying it sounded like mother-in-law thought she was the resident expert and that they often run into mothers who disagree with parenting styles. Unfortunately, I couldn't laugh because I was in tears explaining the situation, but it was obvious the police were on our side. The police told us the clean house did not look like an unsafe environment for the baby. They also informed us that they were just there for a venting session with mother-in-law and not to worry. Of course, no police report was filed. My partner had my back the whole time and kicked mother-in-law out of our house. She had a couple of hours to pack her bags, and then I drove her to a motel. She was mad but had no remorse and thought she did nothing wrong. She doesn't have much money, so my partner and I are paying for it. We got her a flight home tomorrow. I'm not sure what will happen, but it might be the last time mother-in-law sees her grandchild. Mother-in-law has no idea and thinks it's her baby too. Update: an hour or so after I dropped mother-in-law off at the motel, both my partner and I got texts from father-in-law, and I quote, "You can't leave my wife in a hotel. I demand you guys take her back to your house now and work out any problems or misunderstandings. If something happens to her, you are going to be responsible." Later, he argued that we didn't explain tummy time well enough to her and said, "You guys are not geniuses and need to be empathetic." My partner immediately blocked him, but I didn't know until we discussed it later. I tried reasoning with father-in-law but realized it wasn't happening, so I blocked him too. The next day, the motel said I couldn't pay by phone, so I had to drive to the motel to pay for one more night. I also decided to bring mother-in-law some snacks. To be petty, I put the one she didn't like in the snack package. When I dropped off the care package, mother-in-law pleaded that she wouldn't call Child Protective Services. She didn't offer an apology but wanted me to tell my partner that she wouldn't call CPS. I said right and left. Mother-in-law then called my partner, and I thought I would apologize but didn't. Instead, mother-in-law started guilt-tripping, saying she felt she wasn't treated well at our wedding a couple of years ago, and other random things. My partner hung up on her. Update 2. So Sunday came, and I picked mother-in-law up and took her to the airport. On the way, I asked her if she was planning on apologizing. She said, "To who?" I said, "To both of us." She then started saying we didn't explain tummy time well enough and that it was our fault. So then I decided to say what I had planned. I said that this whole situation was her fault, that she put us in danger by calling the police, and that threatening to call CPS ensured she would never see her grandchild again. I told her she was not welcome in our house in the future and that if I saw her again anywhere near our house, I would call the police for trespassing. I also told her she was a bad person, which I regret. Mother-in-law had tears in her eyes. I was shaking and hastily dropped her bags off for her. As I started driving away, I heard a tap on the glass. I nearly drove away with one of her bags in the back seat. So, as she picked up her last bag, I called out again that she would never see her grandchild again and drove away angrily. I spoke with my partner, and we agreed that mother-in-law and father-in-law are blocked.